What's up guys, Aaron here, welcome back to a brand new video here today, and a bit of a different one, because today we're talking about the Grid franchise from Codemasters. Now, the last Grid game was Grid Autosport many years ago, but, you know, we did play it back in the day on the channel as well. I think I had some videos on it, but now they're not on the channel maybe anymore. But, yeah, the last Grid game was Grid Autosport, but yesterday, Codemasters have announced the reboot to the Grid franchise with just Grid is the new game. So I'm going to say Grid 2019 just to make it easier to kind of, you know, differentiate the two, because obviously there was the original Grid, then Grid 2, yeah, Grid Autosport, but this is the reboot. Grid in 2019 is coming back. It's going to be releasing on the 13th of September, so a really good time of the year, actually. You got the F1 game coming out at the end of June, then you got this nice summer break where you're still kind of hyped up with the F1 game, and then September comes along and you've got Grid, and you've got other racing games probably maybe coming out later in the year at some point, you know, just scattered around. So it's a really great year, I think, for, you know, just enjoyable racing games, really. But yeah, Grid is rebooting, and thanks to Cody's, I actually got the chance to play a little bit of the brand new Grid game last week at the HQ, because when I went to go in to record F1 gameplay, they actually showed me, surprisingly, Grid. I had no idea it was coming, but they were like, there's something to show you, and here you go, you get to play a bit of Grid, and it was really fun. It took me back to Grid Autosport. If you were around on the channel when I did play Autosport on the channel, and also on Twitch as well, I streamed quite a bit of it with online lobbies, it was a lot of fun. Like, Autosport was actually a really decent game. The only unfortunate thing was because it was on the old gen of consoles at the time for PS3 and Xbox 360. Once the newer generation kicked in fully, the hype kind of died out, and also Autosport was a bit bare bones and didn't have enough content to keep it going, whereas I feel like this Grid game, from what I played and what I was told and shown, it seems like it has so much content to back it up, but it has kind of influences and vibes of Autosport, I would say, but also the old school original Grid, which I think is a great fusion of the two, because there's a lot of stuff that the original Grid was amazing for, you know, obviously the first in its franchise, and then Autosport, like I said, did so many things right and was such an enjoyable driving game, and they kind of fused the two, I think, in terms of the vibe and the influence, and they've got their own kind of take on and spin on Grid as well. So yeah, in this video, we're going to show you a bit of gameplay as well, and then also I'm going to jump in and talk about my experience from what I played for only, like, you know, a couple of, like, I think I played in total 3 different races on the build they showed me. But first of all, we'll play a little clip of some gameplay. It's just some small snippets that Codemasters have sent me over, so thanks to them. But let's roll the clip and let's watch some gameplay. So in terms of the car categories and the way the kind of main campaign career mode, if you will, is split up into different kind of categories of races, you do kind of touring cars, stock cars, tuner cars, GT cars, and then you've got also like Formula cars, essentially. Fernando Alonso has been a race consultant and also appears in the game. His racing team, FA Racing, is in the game as a full category in the career mode as well, where you do the races with, along with like kind of the cars that he's involved in, his team is involved in, and the kind of final boss kind of race unlockable is racing against him, I think it was in his actual Renault R26 F1 car. So that in itself is insane to actually know. But yeah, the campaign's really separated quite nicely, where you have these different categories and you have to essentially complete, I think it was at the time 3 different races to unlock the kind of boss battle. I think there's 6 or 5 different races across each category, so you don't have to do all of them to actually unlock the last category for the main kind of title win, but you do get that large choice of, if you enjoy a certain type of category category, you can just do all of the races. And then once you go on to win a number of those final races in each category, you unlock the big global championship, which kind of builds which you're building up to the entire grid campaign. But in terms of the racing itself, the AI were really, really unique in a way, because when talking to the dev, the producer, whilst I was racing and playing the game, talking about the AI, all the AI have individual personalities and traits in terms of how aggressive they may be. So some AI, literally, they're all named as well. So they're literally specifically named AI. Like, whilst I was racing, the producer was telling me about certain named AI cars that he had raced in previous test sessions, and he had remembered that they're, either very aggressive or quite timid. So each AI has their own unique identity, and they have that name throughout the entire career. And, let's say, I don't know, Rob will be overly aggressive. Then you've got, I don't know, like Daniel over here, which is a bit more timid, and they keep that trait through your entire career. And each race, you can actually become rivals with either your teammates or also other races, and your rivalry there means a lot, because then your rival might be kind of boosted up a little bit more to take you on in the races. They might even get a little bit argy-bargy with you. So each race becomes quite unique in terms of different rivals you make on the track, be it other people, or you can make your teammate your rival, as I found out, because I think at the time, whilst I was playing, I pretty much smashed into my teammate in one corner, and he got pretty peeved off of me. So I thought it was a really fun system to keep you on your toes constantly, and every single race seemed very unique in that kind of way, in terms of you just never knew how the AI were going to behave and what kind of race you were going to get, even from circuit to circuit, or even if similar circuits, street to street, each kind of AI reacted differently, basically, to the situation. And obviously that's great with part and parcel of you doing different categories of cars, so the driving style is very, very different. But from each car to car, I felt that the handling was very accessible, but at the same time, you can turn off all the assists and go full kind of more towards the simulation aspect of things, but also then turn on the assist and go to more casual. So very much kind of like Grid, it kind of blurs that line and kind of fits in the middle. It's not really a kind of Forza, but it's not also like maybe like a Project Cars or a Assetto Corsa. It's sort of in the middle of those two, if you will. speaking a bit more about the racing experience, it's just a lot of good fun, I think. I think online is going to be really a lot of fun. Like I said, Autosport, I played a decent amount of the single player, but I actually played way more of the multiplayer. Grid has always been a funny game for me. I never play a lot of F1 online because I don't find it that fun, but Grid was a lot of fun online because it's not, you don't go into it expecting much serious racing, but you do actually get some really good wheel-to-wheel battles, and because you're generally driving, stockier cars, a bit more built-up cars, you can have those kind of bargy moments. But it was just so wacky and fun to do scenarios where you drove reverse around the Belgium Grand Prix, down Eau Rouge, I remember in Autosport, was so much fun. So I can't wait to sink my teeth into some multiplayer of this game. Playing against the AI was fun enough, and so I could tell the online would be absolute havoc and just really great fun. Because at one point with the AI, I was doing a race, I can't remember the track actually, I think it was Brands Hatch, I want to say, driving around there, and I actually managed to, I was battling with the AI, I managed to kind of hit the back end of a car with my nose, and the AI kind of went over curve really awkwardly at a weird angle, and it completely flipped completely 360 on its head, and it was just such a funny moment. I kind of wish I was able to recall that moment, because it was such a YouTube kind of moment of like, oh my god, what on earth have I just done? So yeah, a lot of fun. Just that's my general gist from what I've played. It's just a lot of fun, really. It's hard to really explain it without showing off my own gameplay. Obviously, it's very early stages. We're still so far away from September, the release date. But yeah, Grid is coming back September. Hopefully, there'll be more info and more gameplay to show off in the coming months before the release. And I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a nice little breather from F1 by the time we get to September. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to maybe trying to rekindle some of that kind of old nostalgia I had from back in the day in 2013, 2014, playing with mates online and just having a good laugh on a solid racing game, really. So, guys, if you did enjoy the video and you like what you see and you're excited for the Grid franchise to be rebooted and coming back in this way, then let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button. Do get subscribed for more info as I get it, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.